Imagine an entire third grade class gets up at 2:17 a.m. and walks out of their homes. No smashed locks, no ransom notes, no footprints that go anywhere useful. By sunrise, Maybrook, Pennsylvania is sirens and whispers. By night, it is blame and theories. One kid doesn't go, Alex Lilly. Inside his house, the windows are papered over, and an aunt who never opens the curtains knows more than she lets on. Today, we're breaking down the bad choices people make, the smarter alternatives, and how to survive Aunt Gladys, the witch at the core of weapons. Panic is where towns injure themselves. Parents run around, shout names, and chase whatever moves. That is the wrong play. When the threat is unknown and coordinated, the safest move is lockdown. Deadbolt doors, curtains closed, everyone in one room, phones charged, lights minimal. Gather facts before footsteps. In Maybrook, people choose motion instead of information, which is how fear picks victims. The exception is Alex. He did not leave. That makes him a magnet for police attention, grieving parents, and rumor. His house shows loud warnings, covered glass, adults acting off, and Aunt Gladys installed. When a home pivots like this, shift from curiosity to containment. Do not engage. Document what you can from public space and report it. Justine, the new third grade teacher, becomes the town's lightning rod. That is how communities cope with uncertainty. They pick a person and call it closure. She gets put on leave, harassed in parking lots, and spammed by blocked calls. Survival rule. Once you are the focus, you do not argue with a crowd. You reduce exposure. She should have spent a few nights at a safe address, set up motion lights and cameras, and routed communication through a lawyer or union rep. Instead, she drinks the cope, roams at night, and opens the door after phantom knocks. If the PTA is posting your name, do not give them a front porch cameo. Justine tails Alex, clocks the papered windows, and trespasses into the yard. Inside, she spots the kind of quiet that makes your skin crawl. Parents sitting in darkness, present but vacant. That is the cue to back off and file a report, not to play solo investigator in a house that already feels wrong. You want time-stamped photos or video from the sidewalk, a formal welfare check request, and a written log, not your nose pressed to the glass. Then the witch makes her first soft move. A chunk of Justine's hair is gone. In weapons, Gladys uses personal items, especially hair, to control people. Practical defense. If you have been near that house and notice missing hair, assume you have been targeted. Tighten your perimeter. Wash bedding and clothes, bag your brush and comb, and stop giving that household access to anything you touch. Pressure spikes weird. Principal Marcus Miller blitzes Justine at a gas station with single-minded violence. Not drunk, not ranting, locked onto a command that isn't his. Diagnosis: the threat is directed. If you are Justine or a bystander, the survival play is non-lethal disable and documentation. Lean on car horn and distance to draw witnesses, then 911 on speaker. If you must intervene, go for wrist control and balance breaks rather than trading punches. Once he is offered, do not chase. Film. In a story built from deniable acts, evidence beats adrenaline. Marcus does not make it to the end of the day. That is another lesson. This witch works through other people, spends them, then moves on. Do not spend yourself where you cannot win. James, a desperate drifter, goes where nobody should, inside the Lilly house. He finds what the town has been losing sleep over. The missing children stand in the basement like the lights are on, but nobody is home. He flees and tries to report it. Good instinct, disastrous execution. He heads to the police station alone and walks straight into Officer Paul Morgan, who is not following playbook. If you are James, you do not approach the station empty-handed. Sit on a public bench across the street and call 911. Report anonymously, give the address, then hang up. Better, send a tip with a time-stamped photo from outside, then leave the area in a direction that does not lead back to your tent. Paul chases James solo, gets stuck by a needle during a sloppy search, loses his cool, and then goes to the Lilly house alone on James's tip. In a film where one person can be flipped into a weapon, a lone officer is the easiest tool. If you ever carry a badge in a town like this, do not enter a suspected holding site without backup. Perimeter first, partner second, body cam third. In weapons, Paul goes in, and when he comes out, he is not himself. The movie keeps the mechanics spare and scary. Gladys wields personal items like locks of hair and uses ritual triggers like a bell in repeated times such as 217 to override will. We see people behave as if commanded, fixated, pain blind, relentless until their target is neutralized. Respect the rules on screen. Do not donate yourself. No house visits, no hand-to-hand, no leaving cups, brushes, or clothing where they can be lifted. Keep hair tied back, dispose of it in sealed trash away from the site. Assume objects matter. If she uses a bell to cue behavior, line of sight and sound control matter. Ear protection won't beat magic, but distance, doors, and noise discipline keep you out of range when commands are issued. Document. Do not duel. She thrives where it is her wordless ritual against your indignation. Cameras, timestamps, witnesses, calls. These are the counter rituals that pull the fight into arenas she cannot control. Grief turns Archer Graf into motion. He overlays doorbell cam paths, notes the radio tower on the horizon, and draws a web from different homes. Real detective work routed through pain. He and Justine finally compare notes. Same visions, same house, same pattern. Survival logic now says hold position. They need evidence and allies. Layer the response. Call it in with specifics. Address, basement presence, officer missing after entry. Ping other parents to gather witnesses on the public sidewalk with phone cameras rolling. Light the exterior with legal public space lighting so entry and exit are recorded. Keep a vehicle idling facing out, doors unlocked on the driver's side only. The line between bravery and bait is thin at a house like this. You control the line by deciding where the encounter happens. They go in anyway. The house behaves the way haunted houses do in real life. It narrows options the deeper you go. Paul stands like a statue until the wrong step becomes a right signal. When Justine crosses an unseen cue, he locks on. This is not a bar fight. It is an assignment running through a human body. Nothing you say matters. Pain does not register. The best defense is denial of contact, obstacles, doors between bodies, a retreat path pre-cleared, and no split-ups. If you must slow an attacker who won't feel pain, attack structure, not sensation. Knees for mobility, eyes for orientation, fingers for grip. You are not winning. You are buying seconds to reach a door frame with a lock. Meanwhile, upstairs, the one person who has been closest to the witch the longest makes the turn. Alex uses what he knows about Gladys's triggers and targets to flip her control back on itself. The specifics on screen are tight and deliberate. His proximity to her tools, his knowledge of what objects she is bound to, and his timing while everything downstairs combusts. Read it this way: insider knowledge beats raw force. If you are trapped in a controlled environment, learn what your controller needs to operate, then remove or subvert it. When Gladys loses the handle, the town exhales in the ugliest way a town can exhale. Fast, loud, and all at once. The children are found and reunited, but many are shut down. The lesson is not flashy. You do not need to understand every gear to stop the machine. You need to interrupt process. The gathering of items, the issuing of cues. The witch is gone, but the town does not go back to normal. It never does. Thanks for watching. If you want more survival breakdowns, consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one.